Hello.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, madam. Good afternoon. How are you?
Yeah, good, sir. How are you?
I'm good too.
Yeah, so good to see you on this platform, sir.
Same here, same here.
Savni, you can take over now.
A very good afternoon to all. We are in the second session of Atal sponsored FTP on pharmaceutical quality system for product life cycle management organized by Bharati Vidyapeeth College of Pharmacy, Kolhapur. It gives me immense pleasure to introduce today's speaker, Dr. R.N. Purohit sir. He is a professor at Pune College of Pharmacy, Pune, and he is also director at his own consultancy, that is RN Pharma Consulting, which was founded in February 2012 with its headquarters in Pune, through which he is providing consultancy servicing to many companies across the globe for formulation development, process development, and plant design of inhalation products. Sir is having rich experience in the field of development of orally inhaled and nasal drug products. Sir has 31 years of work experience in employment that includes 11 years of academic experience and 20 years of working experience in formulation development and manufacturing that includes various reputed pharma companies like Lupin, Cadila, Microlabs, Midas Care Pharmaceuticals in India. He is also serving as a member of Board of Study for Postgraduate Programs as Vice Chancellor's nominee in Bombay College of Pharmacy, Mumbai. Dr. Ravindra Purohit sir is a pharma professional with a postgraduate and doctoral degree in pharmaceutical science. Sir specializes in providing end-to-end consultancy in the field of inhalation products. In most cases, he has single-handedly established inhalation products portfolio for his clients with end-to-end support from concept to commissioning and further successful commercialization of inhalation products. Sir has through his credit development of number of PMDI, DPI and nasal spray products for different markets including US and Europe. He was first among the few scientists from India to have filed nasal spray product and get the product registered in USA. Sir has 5 national and international patents and numerous high impact factor publications to his credit. Sir is currently working on a few drug repurposing projects for NDA filing with US FDA, which is again amongst the first for Indian pharma fraternity. With this introduction, I would like to request Dr. Ravindra Purohit sir to proceed with his presentation.
Great. Yeah, thank you very much for the nice introduction. Even when I listen to this introduction, most often I feel, did I really do all this? And then.
That all credit goes to you, sir.
No, not really. There is a team around like that. There are people who are there with you all the time. And the team makes it possible, isn't it?
Yeah, but the team needs a leader.
Yeah, that I do sometimes. All right, so shall we go ahead with the presentation?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll share it now.
You can start sharing your PPT, sir.
Yeah. So share, and this one. Okay, can you see this presentation?
Yes, sir. Yes.
All of you?
It's visible.
All right. Yeah, great. Let me set it up a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, is it visible?
Yes, sir. It's full screen now and clearly visible.
Yeah, great. All right. The first thing I must say is it's always a pleasure talking in front of the August gathering of our own pharma professionals and people who are really contributing to the pharma field through their efforts. And it's always an honor for me to speak in front of such an August gathering. I don't know whether I'll really be able to contribute something to your existing knowledge or not. But my approach basically would be to share whatever I have learned on the way, and see like if all of us know a little bit more about certain things which we don't know about. I would also like to congratulate actually Bharati Vidyavit College of Pharmacy, Kolhapur, for selecting this particular subject. This is a kind of neglected subject. And we have a history, we pharmacy people have a history of having strong likings and strong dislikings for different subjects. ये एक हमारी हिस्ट्री रह चुकी है, अभी भी है, कि जैसे जिस बंदे के पास कोई वर्कलोड नहीं होगा, बचा हुआ 18 का वर्कलोड कंप्लीट नहीं हो रहा, उसको जूरिस्प्रूडेंस दे दो.
Very true.
तो ये इस टाइप की चीजें हम करते हैं. So we are strongly prejudiced people, and that's a big problem with us, which does not happen with the medical fraternity, and that's why medical profession is ruling the roost now. And we, the frontline health workers, we often go back because we are involved in our own backbiting and doing ourselves a great disfavor by downgrading our own subjects and downgrading our own knowledge. That's what is happening. And this is one thing which I've learned through my entire career of like 31 years, and having an advantage of working equally both in academics as well as teaching. These are the few things that actually came to my notice. And I'm talking about this one particular topic at this point because it is very closely related to the topic of this particular seminar, that is product lifecycle management. This is the first day of this whole workshop, and yeah, and this is my second talk. So what I actually thought was to give a very comprehensive look at the whole product lifecycle management thing, and then the speakers who will be coming next, like after me, maybe tomorrow, day after tomorrow, they will be taking one or two very specific areas of product lifecycle management, and will be able to explain the nitty-gritties and intricacies of each one of them very properly. And that's why having a holistic view of this particular branch would help. And that's the reason why I selected this topic, which I call product lifecycle and management approaches. So we will try to have a complete overview, and on the way we'll try to see if we can bust some of the myths that we have in our mind. That would be my objective, basically. Okay, let's proceed ahead with the presentation. In the first place, let's understand what is a product life cycle. This circle will present a whole product life cycle, which basically starts from this whole life cycle basically starts from the concept of the product. Like, a concept comes to the mind for the development company that, okay, we need to have a medicine on this and this particular ailment. Or during their synthetic programs, they stumble across a molecule which they feel to have a great potential for one particular therapy segment, and then they want to expand it. Product lifecycle management basically starts from that one particular stage. Okay, so we call this phase of the product as beginning of life of the product. The product is now started taking life, BOL, beginning of life. Okay, it starts from concept, development, prototype. Beginning of life consists of initial conceptualization, development, prototype building, brings product to life along with maintaining specification, production process, supply needs, decides the fate of the product by checking its feasibility. So this is all about the product being launched, near launch. So development, prototype, launch, and manufacture. So now once the manufacture happens, the product goes into the market, and then the product becomes the baby of the market. Okay, where the middle of the life of that particular product starts, where it is distributed, used, serviced. Serviced means like whatever customer complaints are there, doctor complaints are there, those are addressed, and some small modifications, small changes, they keep on taking place in the product, finally bringing the product to a particular level of safety and efficacy. Okay, this is an ongoing process which is going on as long as the product is there in the market. Maybe the product is in the market for 1 year, 10 years, 20 years, but this process does not stop. The improvement process continuously goes on. Okay, so in the middle of the life, the product stays the longest in this particular stage. The product is distributed, used, and serviced. It is in the hands of the end user. Feedback is received by collecting data on specification, production process, supply needs. So this process is an ongoing process, and in this, the product keeps on improving, keeps on serving the mankind. Okay. Then comes the end of life. Then after being in the market for a few years, this is a common observation for all of us. After being in the market for a few years, maybe 10 years, 20 years, 25, 30 years or so, you have numerous competitions then. उस प्रोडक्ट के लिए बहुत सारी कंपटीशन होती है कि 5-50 और ब्रांड आ जाएंगे. अगर आपका ब्रांड प्रोडक्ट है तो जेनरिक प्रोडक्ट आ जाएगा, जेनरिक के बाद मल्टीपल जेनरिक्स आएंगे, कॉस्ट का रिडक्शन होगा, एंड बेस्ड ऑन योर नॉलेज देयर मे बी सर्टेन अदर प्रोडक्ट्स or competitive products which may be better than your products. Even that is possible, isn't it? So finally your brand starts losing the sheen, and then brand starts losing the market also. All right, this signifies end of life. Success of this stage is largely dependent upon beginning of life. That's what it says. We'll talk about it in greater details. Right now we'll keep it aside. This consists of retiring the product, recycling the product, or disposing your product. Okay. In this particular stage, then company has to take a final call on this कि इस product के साथ आगे जाना है, इस product को discontinue करना है, या फिर इस product का कोई रूप change करना है किसी तरीके से. This is the cycle when they have to take a particular call on this. Okay. It starts end of life when users no longer have a need for the product, and companies collect information about what parts and materials are still valuable. Okay. Now this is product life cycle. So end of life, there is a very critical decision that the company has to take कि इस product के साथ अब करना क्या है, इसको बंद कर देना है, या इसको recycle करना है, या फिर इसको dispose कर देना है product को, किसी और को बेच देना है, या whatever decision has to be taken, that decision has to be taken. But an important thing on this particular route is that you have taken a lot of pains in building this particular product. You have taken a lot of efforts to build this product to the particular reputation at this point in time. And then you can't let that reputation to go just like that. You can't do that, isn't it? So most times companies would do is they would look into extending the life of the product. And इस product को फिर से जिंदा किया जाए. Bring this product once again to the life. And this approach is a very wholesome approach, and this approach itself is called as product life cycle management. Whatever we see on the screen right now is product life cycle. The management starts after this. This is the product life cycle. Okay. So let's see what is product life cycle management and product life cycle management, PLM and PLCM. Okay. These two terms does not mean anything different. They are the same. I'll tell you the reason for that. Okay. Let's go into the definition first. It's not a very, shall I say, official kind of a definition. It's more a description. PLM describes the technological aspects of a product, from managing description and properties of a product through its development and shelf life. Now the keywords here are managing, description and properties. These three words basically govern the PLM. Managing description, product है कैसा, और उसकी प्रॉपर्टीज, आज उसकी क्या प्रॉपर्टीज है, हमको और क्या प्रॉपर्टीज उसमें ऐड करनी है, ये देखकर जो हम करते हैं, दैट इज पीएलएम. देन व्हाट इज पीएलसीएम? नाउ in PLCM, what you do is actually you capitalize the word cycle. So you make it product life capital C cycle management, PLCM. PLCM refers to the commercial management of a product in the business market with respect to costs and sales measures. अब क्या है मार्केट में ये जो टर्म है प्रोडक्ट लाइफ साइकिल कमर्शियल मैनेजमेंट, ये बड़ी बुरी सी लगती है टर्म ये. दिस टर्म doesn't have that all polished glowy look, and that's why what they do is they have used this simpler way of making cycle capital C PLCM. But the real meaning of PLCM is product life cycle commercial management. That means the product life cycle can be extended in two ways. One, by making the product technologically better, more competent with additional properties. That's one way of product life cycle management. Another is by managing the product on the commercial level. कि जब वो distribution, जब beginning middle of life में जाता है वो distribution में, डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन से लेके आगे तक आप क्या क्या कर सकते हैं जिसकी वजह से प्रोडक्ट का लाइफ साइकिल आगे बढ़ेगा. So product life cycle management is basically a techno-commercial science. It is not purely technical science. It is not purely commercial science. This is one important thing that we really need to remember. Okay. Benefits of PLM. Let's have a look at benefits of PLM, then some shortcomings with the PLM, and then we'll get into a few examples to understand them comprehensively. Okay. Okay, reduce time to market. Benefit of PLM. Improved product quality. Reduce prototyping cost. More accurate and timely requests for code generation. Ability to quickly identify potential sales opportunities and revenue contribution. Saving through the reuse of original data. A framework for product optimization. Reduced waste. Savings through the complete integration of engineering flow works. अब हमने जो भी कुछ देखा अभी यहाँ पे वो बहुत कुछ तो हमको चाइनीज जैसा दिखाई देगा कि क्या है ये, what all this is actually, what are these benefits of PLM. I just want you to just go through it for a while and keep it in your mind, and we'll keep on knowing about these benefits as we keep on talking about the advantages of various approaches that we use for PLM. Okay, reduce time to market. ये तो क्लियर बात है, रिड्यूस टाइम टू मार्केट. मेरा एग्जिस्टिंग प्रोडक्ट है वो ऑलरेडी मार्केट में है, मैंने उसको सिर्फ रिवाइव करना है, दैट्स ऑल. तो डेफिनेटली मेरा टाइम टू मार्केट जो है वो रिड्यूस होगा. अनदर इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग इज द ट्रांजिशन विल बी सीमलेस, कि मेरा एग्जिस्टिंग प्रोडक्ट अभी मार्केट में है ऑलरेडी और मैं इंप्रूव करके नया प्रोडक्ट डालता हूं, तो आई एम नॉट स्टार्विंग माई मार्केट एट एनी पॉइंट इन टाइम. My market is not short of any product at this point in time. That's the biggest advantage of PLM actually. Okay. Improved product quality, of course, it will always be there, isn't it? Because the experience teaches you what more can be done with your product. Reduce prototyping cost, already existing product. So whatever changes you have to do, they are not major changes, they are minor changes. So the expenses are less. More accurate and timely requests for code generation. I mean, you can predict the positioning of the product in the market very fairly and properly, and you can get a very pinpoint anticipation about what kind of price this particular product can be sold at and what kind of a market size it can actually capture. Ability to quickly identify potential sales opportunities, of course, because you are already in that segment and you know that कि सेल्स अपॉर्चुनिटीज कौन सी है, रेवेन्यू कंट्रीब्यूशन कहाँ से कितना आता है, कहाँ इसको बढ़ाने की जरूरत है. सेविंग्स थ्रू द रीयूज ऑफ ओरिजिनल डेटा. आपके पास ओरिजिनल डेटा है, आपके पास मेथड ऑफ मैन्युफैक्चरिंग है, आपके पास में उसका डेवलपमेंट का फॉर्मुलेशन है, आपके पास उसकी एनालिटिकल मेथड्स हैं, सब कुछ है. सो ओरिजिनल डेटा आपके पास होने की वजह से यू कैन यूज दैट डेटा एंड यू डोंट स्पेंड अ लॉट ऑफ मनी इन डेवलपिंग द प्रोडक्ट. अ फ्रेमवर्क फॉर प्रोडक्ट ऑप्टिमाइजेशन. आपको एग्जैक्टली पता है कि प्रोडक्ट का किस चीज को ऑप्टिमाइज करना है, किस चीज को वैसे ही छोड़ देना है. रिड्यूस्ड वेस्ट, ऑफ कोर्स. सेविंग्स थ्रू द कंप्लीट इंटीग्रेशन ऑफ इंजीनियरिंग फ्लो वर्क. आपको पता है कौन सी मशीन लगने वाली है मैन्युफैक्चरिंग के लिए, वो आपके पास है या नहीं है, ये सारी चीज कितनी कैपेसिटी लगने वाली है, एंड ऑल दिस थिंग्स आर नोन टू यू, एंड बिकॉज ऑफ दैट PLM बेसिकली मेक्स फॉर अ गुड स्ट्रैटेजी. ओके. अ स्टैंडर्ड लाइफ साइकिल मॉडल ऑफ अ पर्टिकुलर प्रोडक्ट, लाइक ओके. Phases. Introduction, low product sales and slow growth. This is the phase. अब हमने पहले क्या देखा? We have seen the product life cycle. Now we are looking at the management of the product life cycle, and then that's why we are looking at the product now from the end of life cycle onwards. So first cycle is growth, increase in sales due to increase in awareness and brand is built. Then maturity, product reaches its maximum potential and sales stabilizes. Companies aim to gain share from competitors and mainly customer loyalty. Maturity. Decline. End of peak, companies cut costs and retain loyal customers. And then comes the extension or renewal. To retain the product from declining, companies lift the product from maturity phase to renewal by responding to customer demand. Now, this is the phase which you see in the graph from maturity onwards in the dotted line, renewal. If you don't renew, it will go on the natural phase of decline and die on one particular time. But if you give a new oxygen to this product, then it will go on the renewal and the brand value will increase further. Any product that goes into market is sold under changing conditions. The succession of strategies that management uses to comply these changes as it moves along different phases of this life cycle is called as product life cycle management. Okay, so this phase from maturity onwards is the phase where PLM people have to work. Okay, how is the product life cycle different in pharma? Okay, but before that, let's see about a few things, few examples, so as to get a real good feel of this particular product life cycle management phenomenon. We all know two brands. There is hardly an Indian who does not know these two brands. Let's take an example of that. The first brand we know of is Crocin. Okay, एकदम गांव के बहुत ही गंवार अनपढ़ इंसान को भी Crocin पता है. Everybody knows Crocin. But and it is probably not probably, undoubtedly it is the highest selling product number wise or quantity wise in the country, undisputably. पैरासिटामोल को कोई बीट नहीं कर सकता क्वांटिटी में, और पैरासिटामोल में भी क्रोसिन को कोई बीट नहीं कर सकता. Crocin is probably the best one. But if you look at the journey of Crocin right from the time when you saw it in your childhood till today, you will say very distinctive changes in Crocin. सबसे पहली बात, Crocin सबसे पहले 500 mg में आया, right? Crocin came in 500 mg tablet. That was for the adult consumption, all right? And the tablet was a round shaped tablet that used to come in a strip of 10 tablets, all right? 10 tablet की strip आया करती थी. उसके बाद क्या हुआ? When the blister technology came in, then strip बहुत बड़ी होती है size में. उसको पूरा पैकेजिंग मटेरियल ज्यादा लगता है, ट्रांसपोर्टेशन कॉस्ट ज्यादा लगती है. ब्लिस्टर बड़ा छोटा सा होता है, तो उसकी वजह से सारी कॉस्ट रिड्यूस होती है. तो फर्स्ट थिंग दे डिड वाज दे कन्वर्टेड इनटू अ ब्लिस्टर, अ राउंड शेप टैबलेट इन अ ब्लिस्टर ऑफ 10. 10 का ब्लिस्टर हो गया. 10 का ब्लिस्टर होने के बाद में देन प्रोडक्ट वाज सोल्ड लाइक वेरी नाइसली इन द मार्केट. एंड टैबलेट इतनी फेमस है वो कि एक डिस्टेंस से भी पहचान सकते थे कि ये क्रोसिन है, राइट? But then later on, what happened? A lot of competition came into the market. Before that, what the company did? It was a good product. So what company did was, अभी ये तो adult consumption के लिए 500 mg, but the pediatric dose is 325 mg. So they launched a syrup of that, paracetamol pediatric syrup 325. Now this launching of pediatric 325 mg is basically a product life cycle management. कि मेरा प्रोडक्ट क्रोसिन नाम का प्रोडक्ट, जिसका नाम क्रोसिन है, क्रोसिन, इस क्रोसिन नाम को मैं कैसे यूज करूं इसको? हाउ डू आई टेक बेनिफिट ऑफ दिस नेम? द फर्स्ट स्ट्रेटेजी फॉर PLM that was adopted was converting it to a syrup into 325 mg. So you get a Crocin syrup 325 mg for pediatric consumption. Market increased. Thereafter then came in the market various competitions, two known competitions. One is Calpol. Okay, Calpol is a product. I think ये product किसका है? AstraZeneca का है. Calpol. I don't remember now. Yeah, Calpol. Calpol is another product which gave real tough competition to Crocin. And another product from Microlabs, Dolo. Dolo tablet. Dolo was launched with 650 mg. All right. So then finally, Crocin. What Crocin did was 500 mg tablet, and then they launched 650 mg tablet to compete Dolo. Now Crocin had got double advantage. One, advantage of the name Crocin itself, and second, advantage of the increased dose, which was generally used for viral fevers, like controlling viral fevers only. 650 mg is generally not taken under normal circumstances. Of course, इस 650 mg dose का बहुत ज़्यादा misuse हुआ है इंडिया में. Even like the medical fraternity has misused it quite a lot, giving 650 mg under normal conditions also, non-viral fevers also. That's a different story. But 650 mg they did. Then next change they did was, if you see, they converted that round shaped tablet into a caplet, a capsule shaped tablet. क्योंकि round shape की tablet वैसे भी, because consumption was highest around the country, so you had different people. The people with swallowing difficulty, who had difficulty in swallowing. तो इन्होंने क्या किया? They converted into a capsule shaped tablet. Now it became easier to swallow. All right. And then on the back of that, they wanted to maintain their sales or increase their sales. Maintain their sales or increase their sales. So what they did? They made now a strip of 15 tablets. All right. And latest now, the new strip that comes with 30 tablets. So all these efforts have been taken up by Crocin. अब देखिए, ये probably world का सबसे बड़ा product है Crocin. हम कहते हैं कि इसने अपने आप चलना चाहिए, but ऐसा हो नहीं सकता. Every product, everything, every living and non-living being on this world cannot be eternal. It has to have a declining phase. The only thing is Crocin owners realized it very, very well. And when their brands were at the top of their popularity, that time they started working on PLM and they did that PLM. In addition to that, then they brought some other brands on the piggyback of the of Crocin. And now you see Crocin has got a life of more than 50 years. It is simply because of their efforts of product lifecycle management. Otherwise, वही राउंड शेप की टैबलेट उसी स्ट्रिप में आज भी अगर होती तो अब तक वो ब्रांड खत्म हो चुका होता, हमको पता भी नहीं चलता. कैलपॉल हो जाता, वहां पर डोलो हो जाता, क्रोसिन कहाँ है पता नहीं. तो दिस इज वन ऑफ द बिगेस्ट एंड बेस्ट सक्सेस स्टोरीज ऑफ पीएलएम. ओके, सेकेंड एग्जाम्पल इज आप ले लो पार्ले जी बिस्किट का. ऐसा कोई बंदा इंसान इंडिया में नहीं होगा जिसने पार्ले जी नहीं खाया है, isn't it? और 90% of us we like Parle G as the first choice of our biscuits, isn't it? So undisputable leaders even till date. आज भी उसको कोई replace नहीं कर पाया है, isn't it? But still look at Parle. They have kept on doing the product life cycle management. पहले पार्ले जो आया करता था पुराने जमाने में, हम जब छोटे थे, एक बड़ा सा पैक आया करता था जो काफी कॉस्टली हुआ करता था. एंड कॉस्ट वाज ऑलमोस्ट प्रोहिबिटिव. Very costly was that. That product was there. And then the packaging was a little different for that. Like the primitive packaging was there in that cellophane paper and wrapped in that cellophane paper and everything. And then as the brand kept on growing and becoming bigger and bigger and bigger, they kept on changing that, responding to the market demand. अब उन्होंने क्या किया? पैकेजिंग चेंज किया. सबसे पहले they brought in smaller packs. एक बहुत बड़ा पैक था, उससे एक छोटा पैक उन्होंने लाया जो करीब 100-150 ग्राम का होगा. और आज तो ये बात है इसमें कि पार्ले जी का एक 5 रुपए का भी पैक मिलता है छोटा सा, जो वन टाइम कंजम्पशन के लिए है. These basically are the product life cycle management strategies where you want to retain your flagship position into the market. Okay, and you make specific efforts. अब आप एक नया पैकेजिंग लाते हो, पैकेजिंग लाने के बाद उसके ऊपर लिखते हो न्यू Parle G in a new and improved pack. Now they are not claiming any change in the product. Remember, they are not claiming any change in the product. They are claiming new pack, a more attractive one that will attract children. जो बच्चों को attract करे, because their primary customers are children. What is this? This is basically a product life cycle management approach. Okay, this thing we really have to understand. अब पीएलएम के बारे में ये सुनने के बाद हमारा एक सबसे पहले तो ये व्यू ये हो सकता है इसके अंदर में कि पीएलएम, जैसे कि हम लोग बहुत प्रिजुडाइज लोग हैं ना, अपने व्यूज बड़े जल्दी बना लेते हैं. तो वन व्यू दैट वी कैन एक्चुअली मेक इज कि ये क्या है, इतना अच्छा ब्रांड चल रहा है, प्रोडक्ट मार्केट में चल रहा है और ये पैकिंग चेंज करके लोगों को बेवकूफ बना रहे हैं. ये एक हमारी इसके अंदर की एक फीलिंग होती है कि ये क्यों कर रहे हैं. But we really have to understand that when a particular company works on a particular brand, gives its blood and sweat, gore and a lot of money in developing that particular product, they will always try to remain in a flagship position. They also always want to remain at the front of the competition. And facing a competition, responding to the competition challenges is not bad, isn't it? Moreover, you see, product life cycle management is generally done for the brands which are actually doing well in the market. जो प्रोडक्ट मार्केट में अच्छा कर रहा है उसी के लिए पीएलएम होता है. जो प्रोडक्ट अच्छा नहीं कर रहा है उसके पीछे टाइम एनर्जी कोई वेस्ट नहीं करता है. तो ये तो एक अच्छी चीज है ना कि यू आर ट्राइंग टू मेंटेन योर फ्लैगशिप पोजीशन इनटू द मार्केट. इट्स अ गुड थिंग, isn't it? So this is first myth that we have to take out from your mind कि नहीं वो पुराना पैक क्यों चेंज कर दिया है, why did they do this and that. Okay, this is one thing. Second misconception that we can really have at this stage is that कि PLM से हम किसी बुरे प्रोडक्ट को भी प्रमोट कर सकते हैं. जैसा कि एक पॉपुलर मिसकंसेप्शन होता है हमारा कि बहुत अच्छा सा पैक कर दो ब्यूटीफुल सा उसका पैक कर दो, बड़ा अट्रैक्टिव सा पैक कर दो, अंदर में बकवास सा प्रोडक्ट डाल दो, फिर भी वो चल जाएगा, विच इज एक्चुअली रॉन्ग एंड विच इज एब्सोल्युटली नॉट ट्रू. No matter how good the packaging is, no matter how good the presentation is, the product will not run if it is not a good product. हम लोगों को, कंज्यूमर को बेवकूफ समझने की भूल नहीं कर सकते. And because of that, remember, whether it is a PLM or PLCM, whatever it is, it always rides piggyback on the quality of the product. The product must have the intended quality. Then only you can think about PLM. This is an important thing that we have to remember. कोई भी बुरी चीज को आप प्रमोट नहीं कर सकते. और जो PLM स्ट्रेटेजीज कंपनीज में भी अप्रोच की जाती है फार्मा कंपनी में, they are basically never compromising on quality. They know they have a fantastic quality in the first place. Their efforts are either to increase the quality so as to stay in the market, make it better, or to make sure that people keep on getting reminded about that all the time. And that these are the things that we always have to remember. And that's why we have to respect product lifecycle management as a very authentic and legal strategy for remaining into the market and capturing better and bigger market. This is an important thing. Okay. Next is, how is the product lifecycle different in pharma? Like, there is a product lifecycle for everything in the market. Like, take a popular example of mobile phones. I think mobile phones probably have the shortest life cycle. सबसे छोटी लाइफ साइकिल मोबाइल फोन की होती है. एक मॉडल आता है मार्केट में, 6-8 महीने, 1 साल रहता है, एंड देन गोज ऑफ एंड नोबडी हियर्स अबाउट इट लेटर ऑन. कोई सुनता भी नहीं है उसके बारे में. Isn't it? पॉपुलर एग्जांपल आईफोन. अभी क्या चल रहा है? आईफोन 12. आईफोन 12 को लॉन्च होकर 1 साल भी नहीं हुआ, एंड ऑलरेडी एप्पल हैज स्टार्टेड मार्केटिंग आईफोन 13. And that too, now they are offering big discounts on iPhone 12. So this particular industry, the electronic industry, has identified that PLM can be done only through successive models by changing the product. Exactly in contrast, pharma, we believe in PLM by maintaining the original product all the time and making it bigger and better. Okay. Now, revenue wise, if you see in pharma also, early stage R&D centric from drug discovery to its launch, you see that yellow portion over at the bottom that shows you the revenues. Okay. Now in this, huge money is pumped in. Then the product launched into the market, and then at one particular time it reaches the peak in the maturity, earns a lot of money, and it comes to the decline phase. Now, when you come to the decline phase, that is the real time when you start thinking about PLM. You get sufficiently long time till reaching the late phase in order to ensure a proper strategy for your PLM. And then in face of the generic competition, then you lose the market. And here now it is your duty basically to increase that graph once again in the late phase so that the revenues once again increase. Okay. What all can be done for product lifecycle management? Let's come into that now. The maturity stage can be extended to prevent the product from going into declining phase. This is called product extension. Some examples of extension as follows. Product line extension. We have 4 examples here. Let's see one of them. Product line extension. In this, you aim to make advanced product by making variations in the existing product. Okay. Product line extension करते हो आप. तो एक प्रोडक्ट आपका मार्केट में है, उसमें आप थोड़ा सा वेरिएशन करके उसको उस लाइन को आप एक्सटेंड करोगे. फॉर एग्जांपल प्रोजैक टैबलेट, फ्लोजिटीन टैबलेट एक्सटेंडेड टू सिम्बायक्स बाय एडिंग ओलानज़ेपिन. अब पहले फ्लोक्सिटीन टैबलेट था, प्रोजैक वाज अ मार्केट लीडर. उन्होंने क्या किया, प्रोजैक के साथ ओलानज़ेपिन भी ऐड कर दिया. नया प्रोडक्ट आ गया मार्केट में, और ये प्रोडक्ट डालने के बाद में दे filed a patent and extended the patent period from 2001 to 2007 by Eli Lilly. So what happened now? The earlier patent, which was already there for 20 years up to 2001, 20 साल का पीरियड आपको मिल गया. उसके बाद नया पेटेंट डाला और 2017. अब आपके प्रोडक्ट का जो पेटेंट है वो 2017 तक है. इसका मतलब आपको बहुत कम कंपटीशन वहां पे होगी. ओके. प्रोडक्ट लाइन एक्सटेंशन का अनदर इंडियन एग्जांपल. one of the most famous or like the flagship product in the diabetic range is metformin 500 mg tablet by USV, which is called as Glycomet. Glycomet tablet. Glycomet tablet is an undisputed leader in the market. Number one product. I think it has got a turnover of something like 3 to 4,000 crore in Indian market. इतना उसका टर्नओवर है. अब नाम ग्लाइकोमेट जो है वो फेमस हो गया है. Glycomet. So what they did? Then they made various fixed dose combinations with metformin, kept on giving name Glycomet, Glycomet FP, Glycomet MR, Glycomet SR. अब एक अनकोटेड टैबलेट होती है, इंस्टेंट रिलीज टैबलेट, उसका लाइफ साइकिल आप एक्सटेंड करते हो बाय मेकिंग इट अ सस्टेन रिलीज टैबलेट. सेम टैबलेट सस्टेन रिलीज. हाँ, which one? Adigen. Hello, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All participants are requested. Please mute your mic. Sorry for disturbance, sir.
Not a problem. I thought like somebody asked something. Okay. Now, next strategy is indication extension. New application of already existing expired molecule. For example, Adcirca. Adcirca was used for erectile dysfunction, Cialis. And then Adcirca was developed as a new product, Cialis, for benign prostate hypertrophy by Eli Lilly again. So indication change. इसका सबसे बढ़िया एग्जांपल जो हमको पता है इंडिकेशन एक्सटेंशन का, वो इंडिकेशन एक्सटेंशन नहीं है, एक्चुअली चेंज है. That may not be the right example at this stage. Okay, I will take it at some other stage. But right now, existing product Adcirca, which is used for erectile dysfunction, developed to Cialis for benign prostate hypertrophy. मतलब आपने क्या किया, एक इंडिकेशन ऑलरेडी है इरेक्टाइल डिस्फंक्शन के लिए यूज होता है, देन यू एडेड इट फॉर अनदर इंडिकेशन फॉर बिनाइन प्रोस्टेट हाइपरट्रोफी. Okay, so indication extension is another one. Okay, then prescription to OTC extension, removal of active ingredient from prescription only status. For example, diclofenac to Voltadol gel, nicotine replacement therapy. These are the examples कि diclofenac gel पहले prescription product था, अब जब तक उसका पेटेंट चला है, Voveron for example, Voveron is the brand product. Voveron का जब तक पेटेंट चला है 20 साल का, तब तक तो उन्होंने उसको कुछ नहीं किया, मार्केट में एस्टेब्लिश करते गए. उसके बाद में क्या किया, जैसे ही प्रोडक्ट का डिक्लाइन फेज आ गया, उनको लगा कि अब जेनरिक प्रोडक्ट मार्केट में आएंगे और बहुत सारा ये करेंगे. सो व्हाट दे डिड, दे अप्लाइड टू यूएस एफडीए फॉर ओटीसी स्टेटस, क्योंकि ये तो ओटीसी प्रोडक्ट है भाई, इसको प्रिस्क्रिप्शन की जरूरत ही नहीं है. दे प्रोवाइडेड इनफ proofs, scientific studies, and the data, huge data that is generated from the market, post-market surveillance, and then they got the OTC status to it. जैसे ही प्रोडक्ट OTC हो गया, उस प्रोडक्ट का इंपॉर्टेंस ही खत्म हो गया मार्केट से, तो जेनरिक कंपटीशन उसमें आई नहीं बहुत ज्यादा. और फिर ये वोल्टाडॉल जेल जो है, इट मेंटेन इट्स पोजीशन इन द ओटीसी मार्केट आल्सो, क्योंकि लोगों को पहले भी वोल्टाडॉल पता था, बाद में भी वोल्टाडॉल ही पता था. तो जब कभी भी कोई इंसान जो डॉक्टर नहीं है, वो किसी मेडिकल स्टोर पर अगर प्रोडक्ट परचेज करने को जाएगा, तो वो अपने नोन नेम से मांगेगा. वो ये नहीं बोलेगा डाइक्लोफेनाक 0.1% वेट बाय वॉल्यूम जेल दो मुझे. वो तो यही बोलेगा कि भाई मुझे वोवेरॉन चाहिए, मुझे वोल्टाडॉल चाहिए, मुझे क्रोसिन चाहिए, मुझे ग्लाइकोमेट चाहिए. और दैट्स हाउ देन यू मेंटेन द फ्लैगशिप पोजीशन देयर. ओके, next is business model strategies, adaptation of the business model to changing environmental market dynamics. For example, merger and acquisition strategies to drive or substitute R&D and other activities. अब ये business model strategy जो होती है, ये इसका भी एक बहुत बड़ा प्लेथोरा है, which we'll discuss later on. But one example that is given here is, एक strategy ये होती है कि आप merger acquisition कर लें. जैसे for example, एक particular product है, वो brand market में बहुत जबरदस्त चल रहा है अभी, और आप एक बहुत बड़ी कंपनी है, यू आर अ बिग ब्रांड प्रोडक्ट कंपनी, यू वांट दैट पर्टिकुलर ब्रांड इन योर बूटी, बिकॉज आपके पास ऑलरेडी फॉर एग्जांपल एंटी डायबिटिक एक पोर्टफोलियो है आपकी कंपनी के पास में. लेकिन एक ऐसा एंटी डायबिटिक प्रोडक्ट है दूसरी एक कंपनी का जो मार्केट में बहुत ज्यादा चल रहा है. अब आपकी पूरी एंटी डायबिटिक रेंज वहां मार खा रही है, तो आप क्या करते हो, आप उस कंपनी को कहते हो चलो ठीक है भाई, हम आपकी कंपनी को खरीदना चाहते हैं, कितने में बेचोगे. देन either the merger happens or the acquisition of the company happens. या कभी कभी ये वो कहते हैं कि चलो ठीक है, आप कंपनी ना बेचो, मुझे ब्रांड ही बेच दो, आप कितने में बेचोगे. So these are another strategies that are adopted so as to fortify your existing product basket. Okay, these are some of the maturity stage There are some more examples. We will not go into that right now. Okay. So these are some of the examples to make you aware of what kind of PLM strategies can be there. Having seen that, now this slide will make a little more sense to us, which I'm showing you right now. Selection of life cycle management tactics. Let's concentrate on the left hand side first. You see two things, PLM and PLCM. What I've tried to do is I have tried to divide these tactics into two parts. One where I make technological changes into the product, make it better and extend the product life cycle. Or second is PLCM, where I extend the product life cycle purely through my commercial efforts. Okay, let's see them. PLM. PLM strategies are new indications, new formulations, pediatric market exclusivity, disease management programs, combination products, next generation products, new dosing regimens. Let's see them first, then we'll go to PLCM. New indications. Best example, known to all of us, aspirin tablet. Aspirin in the old time was being used as an anti-inflammatory, antipyretic tablet, and it was one of the best products in the market. Even I can tell you that even till date, if you ask me purely from the therapeutic point of view, aspirin को कोई replace नहीं कर पाएगा, उसकी anti-inflammatory और antipyretic property equally best, both of them. The biggest problem was that of the gastric ulceration, and that was very common. इसकी वजह से उस प्रोडक्ट को डिसकंटिन्यू कर दिया गया, एंड देन दैट प्रोडक्ट got off from the scene for a very long time. The well-known brand for that was Aspro tablet. Aspro, which was basically a powder in the first place. जब tablet technology नहीं थी तो powder form में हुआ करता था, एक sachet में powder आया करती थी, पानी में घोल के उसको पीना होता था. Then came the tablet, and that was basically a soluble tablet. Again, tablet को पानी में डालो, उसको soluble करो और उसको पी जाओ. That was the tablet, Aspro. Aspro came on the scene, and then aspirin was banned. So aspirin went out of the scene. But what company did was, company ने Aspro में दूसरी चीजें डाली, Analgin. बाद में और क्या था उसमें? Analgin was the first one जो उन्होंने use किया. And then subsequently they kept on using other things like ibuprofen and other, and name Aspro was written. So Aspro का जो नाम था, उस नाम पे उस कंपनी ने piggyback बहुत साल तक product का life cycle extension किया. But then at one point in time there was no replacement, so it died. That was on the anti-inflammatory front. But after a phase of 20 years, almost 20 years, somebody recognized that it is an excellent antiplatelet agent. Excellent cardiotonic, excellent blood thinner. By that time, the technology for enteric coating has come. क्योंकि Aspro के जमाने में enteric coating technology नहीं थी, तो कोई सोच भी नहीं सकता था कि drug will go into stomach and can pass into intestine without disintegrating. तो अगर stomach में disintegrate करता है, तो वो stomach की wall को serious damage करता है, ulceration करता है. So, but when enteric coating technology came into existence, then people realized कि इसको intestine में हम deliver कर सकते हैं. And then the tablet was developed for aspirin, which is now in India the very well known brand called Ecosprin, and it is again a flagship product, #1 product in the market. And that product goes into the intestine, gets absorbed, goes into the bloodstream, and acts as an antiplatelet, and one of the best it is till date. So new indication, a totally new indication, which was unthought for. So that has extended the product life cycle of aspirin molecule itself. Second, new formulation. जैसा मैंने बताया कि एक टैबलेट है आपका जो अनकोटेड है, इंस्टेंट रिलीज है. न्यू फॉर्मुलेशन करो उसको सस्टेंड रिलीज बनाओ, उसको मॉडिफाइड रिलीज बनाओ, उसको पल्सेटाइल रिलीज बनाओ, उसको ऑस्मोटिक रिलीज बनाओ. न्यू फॉर्मुलेशन, सेम नेम, ग्लाइकोमेट अनकोटेड टैबलेट, ग्लाइकोमेट SR सस्टेंड रिलीज, ग्लाइकोमेट MR, ग्लाइकोमेट TR. So glycomet name stays there. New formulation. Pediatric market exclusivity. Like एक प्रोडक्ट मार्केट में है जो एडल्ट के लिए फॉर एग्जांपल, और इसका पीडियाट्रिक स्टडी हुआ ही नहीं है. अब ये कंपनी प्रोडक्ट को मार्केट में बेच रही है, अनडिस्प्यूटेड ब्रांड प्रोटेक्शन है बिकॉज ऑफ द पेटेंट एंड एवरीथिंग. 10-15 साल अलोन मोनोपोली में उस प्रोडक्ट को बेचा है. अब प्रोडक्ट लाइफ साइकिल का एंड आ गया है, पेटेंट खत्म होने में 10 जेनरिक ऑलरेडी तैयार है मार्केट में आने के लिए. अब ऐसी केस में ये कंपनी क्या करती है, डिक्लाइनिंग फेज के पहले इसका पीडियाट्रिक क्लिनिकल ट्रायल करेंगे. पीडियाट्रिक क्लिनिकल ट्रायल करके इसको उसके डोजेस टाइट्रेट करके एक नया फॉर्म उसका लेके आएंगे, या तो सेम डोज में या कम डोज में लाएंगे पीडियाट्रिक, एक पेटेंट नया फाइल करेंगे और यूएस एफडीए में और या इंडिया में पीडियाट्रिक मार्केटिंग एक्सक्लूसिव के लिए फाइल कर देंगे कि भैया ये प्रोडक्ट हमने पीडियाट्रिक के लिए भी लाया हुआ है अभी, सो नाउ गिव अस, एंड देन they get that product life cycle extension for pediatric market, and then again they keep on ruling the market for next 10-20 years, क्योंकि अब उनके लेवल पे आ गया है फॉर एडल्ट यूज दिस मच, फॉर पीडियाट्रिक यूज दिस मच, लेकिन आपका ब्रांड प्रोडक्ट कंपनी का ऑलरेडी पीडियाट्रिक यूज का पेटेंट है, इसलिए कोई भी जेनरिक कंपनी उसका पीडियाट्रिक प्रोडक्ट डेवलप नहीं कर सकती, इट कैन नॉट डेवलप, एंड देन बिकॉज ऑफ दैट ऑन द लेबल दैट कंपनी कैन नॉट क्लेम फॉर पीडियाट्रिक यूज. So if it cannot claim on the label for the pediatric use, then that label claims on the brand product and the reference product are not same. And because the label is not same, it will not be considered as generic product. Look at the beautiful strategy. Because label claim of the brand product and the label claim of the generic product are not same, क्योंकि generic claim ही नहीं कर सकता pediatric use के लिए, तो label same नहीं हुआ, label same नहीं हुआ तो FDA कहता है कि ये generic product नहीं है. You have to file it through 505(b)(2) route or paragraph 4 route, which is quite costly. तो उस केस में क्या होता है, पेडियाट्रिक मार्केट एक्सक्लूसिविटी आपको मिल जाती है, एक तो एफडीए खुद ही आपको 6 महीने का एक्सटेंशन देता है, बाद में आप अपने पेटेंट के थ्रू और 5-10 साल का एक्सटेंशन ले लेते हो. दिस इज अगेन अ ब्यूटीफुल स्ट्रेटजी. ओके, डिजीज मैनेजमेंट प्रोग्राम्स, लाइक आप क्या करते हो, एक प्रोडक्ट का बास्केट तैयार करते हो, जैसे फॉर एग्जाम्पल एंटी ट्यूबरकुलोसिस, आपके पास में रिफेम्पिसिन है, आपके पास में आइसोनियाजाइड है, आपके पास में इथेम्ब्यूटॉल है, आपके पास में पायरिजिनामाइड है, ये 4 टैबलेट आप मार्केट कर रहे हो. बाद में आप क्या करते हो, एक कॉम्बो पैक बनाते हो उसका, जिसमें द स्ट्रिप कंटेन्स द प्रोडक्ट इनटू एग्जैक्ट डोजेस, लाइक यू नीड टू टेक 1 रिफेम्पिसिन टैबलेट इन द मॉर्निंग, 1 इथेम्ब्यूटॉल इन द आफ्टरनून, 1 पायरिजिनामाइड इन द मॉर्निंग. सो यू मेक अ स्ट्रिप ऑफ दैट एंड देन यू सेल इट एज अ कॉम्बो कि ओके दिस इज माई टीबी किट. So disease management program. Combination products, this is another strategy which you have seen, like you have metformin in glycomet, metformin 500 mg, metformin 600, metformin 750, metformin 1000, metformin 300. then आप क्या करते हो, उसमें ग्लिमिप्राइड ऐड कर देते हो, metformin G, फिर उसमें दूसरा ऐड करते हो, fixed dose combinations. You keep on doing fixed dose combinations, but the name is glycomet. So on the popularity of glycomet, these other brands also keep on selling, और ऐसे glycomet का life cycle management होता है. Next generation products, best examples antibiotics, cephalosporins for example. We all know cephalosporins have come through generations. First generation cephalosporin, second generation, third generation, fourth generation. आपका एक flagship product है market में, Ceftum for example, Ceftriaxone sodium. अब next generation में आ गया Ceftriaxone, तो आपने नेक्स्ट जनरेशन लॉन्च कर दिया सेफिक्सिम, तो नेम एक्सटेंशन हो रहा है और आप एक नए उसमें भी जा रहे हो, बिकॉज यू आर ऑलरेडी एस्टेब्लिश्ड इन द सेफेलोस्पोरिन रेंज एज अ नेम टू रेकन. फॉर एग्जांपल एल्केम, एल्केम इज अ बिग नेम इन सेफेलोस्पोरिन. अब एल्केम अगर नेक्स्ट जनरेशन लेके आएगा तो नेचुरल चॉइस फॉर द डॉक्टर्स विल बी टू बाय दैट नेक्स्ट जनरेशन सेफेलोस्पोरिन फ्रॉम एल्केम ओनली. सो इन दिस पर्टिकुलर केस व्हाट एल्केम इज डूइंग, Alkem is not doing PLM of a product, it is doing PLM of a range of a product. एक रेंज को आगे बढ़ाते जा रहा है वो, बट उसका PLM हो रहा है. न्यू डोजिंग रेजिमेन, बेस्ट एग्जांपल तो हमने अभी देखा है, पैरासिटामोल 500, पैरासिटामोल 650. So you make new dosing regimen, isn't it? A dosing regimen at the lower side is very, very common कि pediatric use के लिए 325 mg. So these different strategies can be used for PLM, for the product lifecycle management extension. On the PLCM front, patent litigations. ये जो मैंने आपको एग्जांपल दिया अभी पीडियाट्रिक मार्केट एक्सक्लूसिविटी का, ये पेटेंट बेस्ड है. आप अपने पेटेंट एक पर्टिकुलर लेवल पर फाइल करते जाते हो, सो दैट हर जो पेटेंट है आपको 2 साल का एक्सटेंशन देते जाए. तो इन वन पर्टिकुलर पेटेंट फैमिली इज रिलेटेड टू वन पर्टिकुलर प्रोडक्ट. यूजुअली एक प्रोडक्ट है, उसका एक पेटेंट आपने फाइल किया, प्रोडक्ट मार्केट में आ गया, कुछ इंप्रूवमेंट किया, दूसरा पेटेंट फाइल किया, तीसरा, चौथा, पांचवा, छठवां, इस तरीके से उस प्रोडक्ट के साथ में जितने भी पेटेंट आप फाइल करते हो, इट्स कॉल्ड एज अ पेटेंट फैमिली. तो आप पेटेंट फैमिली के थ्रू दो साल उसका लाइफ एक्सटेंशन करते जाओगे. You keep on doing that for every 2 years. All right. 2 years, 4 years, 5 years जैसे भी होगा. अब ये अनएंडिंग होते जाता है ऑलमोस्ट. और इसके बाद में अगर कोई कंपनी, सम कंपनी कम्स विथ अ जेनरिक प्रोडक्ट against that particular brand product and then files it with US FDA or Indian FDA for that matter, then brand company knows that yes, the claim of the company is right. They can win the litigation, but still the brand company will file a litigation in the court. And then litigation fight करने में 30-32 महीने निकल जाते हैं. So you get that much more time. This is one strategy. And now you know now why it is a commercial strategy. It has got nothing to do with the product. Patent litigation. RX to OTC switches, that I already told you. कि प्रिस्क्रिप्शन से OTC स्विच कर दो, उस प्रोडक्ट का पूरा जो शीन है वो निकल जाता है. और OTC पे तो लोग वही मांगते हैं जो उनको पता है. तो OTC में तो जेनरिक का बिकना ऑलमोस्ट इम्पॉसिबल हो जाता है. तो फिर जेनरिक कंपनीज दे जनरली दे आर नॉट एनकरेज्ड टू गो इनटू the OTC switches, and then that brand product again keeps maintaining its flagship position. Okay. Strategic pricing changes. This is actually well known to all of us. Strategic pricing changes. कि जैसे ही कोई एक brand product market में आ गया, suddenly you reduce the price of your product because you already earned a lot on that particular product. फिर generic ने अपना price कम किया, आप फिर कम करो. You keep on doing that. So strategic pricing changes can be done. This strategic pricing changes is also used in Indian, was used before a few years, was used by the Indian industry in a different way. Ke product will be marketed with like 2 strips free on 1 strip to the distributor. Distributor passes on to retailer, 1 strip free on 1 strip. तो ये सब strategic pricing changes करके आप अपने product के life cycle को बढ़ा सकते हो. Authorized generics. This is one of the most beautiful strategies in the advanced markets of extending the life cycle of your product. अब इसमें क्या होता है, एक कंपनी है जिसका अपना एक ब्रांड प्रोडक्ट है. फॉर एग्जांपल फाइजर. फाइजर का प्रोडक्ट है लिपिटॉर, विच इज टिल डेट ड्रग की हिस्ट्री में शायद इससे ज्यादा रेवेन्यू किसी भी प्रोडक्ट ने आज तक अर्न नहीं किया हुआ है. दिस प्रोडक्ट फ्रॉम लास्ट 25 years has non-stop clocked more than 14 to 15 billion dollars turnover per annum for 25 years. Imagine the kind of revenue it has generated, this particular product. Okay, Lipitor. इसी की वजह से जो Ranbaxy का जो कुछ आज जो कुछ हुआ है, that has happened because of Lipitor basically, because Pfizer was fiercely determined to protect Lipitor and they successfully did at the end of the day. Okay, so अब इसमें स्ट्रैटेजी क्या हो सकती है कि लिपिटॉर तो नंबर 1 है, लेकिन किसी न किसी दिन ये जेनरिक होगा. एंड दैट डे लॉट ऑफ जेनरिक्स विल कम इन, बिकॉज इफ देयर इज अ मार्केट ऑफ $15 billion, every damn company on the earth will try to make a generic of that. So whenever the patent protection is gone, 100 companies will come with their generic products, and then Lipitor will lose its market, isn't it? So what Lipitor can do in that particular case? So Pfizer क्या कर सकता है? फाइजर ये करता है उसके बाद में कि इस पेटेंट को एक्सपायर होने से पहले, ये जो पेटेंट है अपना 20 साल का मेरा पेटेंट है फॉर एग्जांपल, ये पेटेंट मेरा अभी सपोज 12, 13, 14 साल हो गया है, 5 साल 6 साल बाकी है इस पेटेंट का अभी टर्म. अब मैं क्या करता हूं, किसी एक कंपनी को राइट्स दे देता हूं इसका जेनरिक फाइल करने का, जेनरिक फाइल करने का राइट दे देता हूं. वो मेरी सिस्टर कंसर्न होती है, मेरी सिस्टर कंसर्न को कहता हूं चलो इसका जेनरिक डेवलप करो और फाइल करो. अब पेटेंट टर्म के रहते रहते दैट पर्टिकुलर प्रोडक्ट इज फाइल्ड विद द US FDA, it gets approval also for marketing, and because it is being sponsored by the brand company does not go into litigation. Brand company इस generic पे केस ही नहीं करती है. So generic can come into the market and sell. So what happens before any other generic comes into the market? The brand company has its own generic into the market. अच्छा ये नहीं है कि एक ही करेगा. They can file it through 5-6 different companies of their own. So you already have 5-6 generics which are present into the market before any other generic comes in. So now you have competition with your own generics. So Lipitor को competition, Pfizer company के Lipitor को competition है Pfizer company के ही generic से. So you retain your revenues. This is another strategy. And one more strategy is mergers and acquisitions. Like as I said कि कोई ब्रांड आपको अच्छा लगता है, ब्रांड को परचेस कर लो या कंपनीज को परचेस कर लो. Recently you might be looking at a lot of activities into the pharma market where one company is taking another company, mergers are happening, acquisitions are happening. These all are very strategic acquisitions and mergers where you buy the company which is actually manufacturing the products of your interest. Okay, and then you extend your brands. Like you already have 10 anti-diabetic product and one big anti-diabetic product belongs to some other company. You buy that company, so now all 11 products are in your basket and you are the market leader. This is another strategy of PLCM. Okay, what governs this PLM and PLCM can be seen on the right hand side. You see external forces which actually make you go for selecting one of these LCM strategies is potential return on investment. कि अगर मैं इन्वेस्टमेंट करूंगा इस प्रोडक्ट में तो मुझे रिटर्न कितना आएगा. नेचुरली इफ अ ब्रांड इज नॉट डूइंग वेल, इफ इट इज नॉट अर्निंग वेल, तो उसका लाइफ साइकिल एक्सटेंड करके भी क्या इन्वेस्टमेंट में रिटर्न आने वाला है, बिकॉज द ब्रांड डज नॉट हैव वैल्यू. सो यू डू नॉट गो फॉर PLM फॉर दैट स्मॉल प्रोडक्ट. मार्केट रिसर्च इनसाइट्स. Market research tells you that in addition to your product, they need some additional benefits also. So you come with a metformin tablet in combination with glimepiride. So now the research tells you that a combination of metformin and glimepiride has got a better control of diabetes. Research insights. Competitor strategies. You see what are the strategies of your competitor. Competitor also has come into the market with paracetamol 500 tablet, for example. You have Crocin. All right, your tablet is round, competitor tablet is also round. What do? You immediately go for caplet, capsule shaped tablet, you give extension. So whatever competitor strategy is there, you respond to that competitor strategy and change. Execution of cost and time from patent expiration. I have given a lot of example to you of patent expiration here in this. So these are the external factors that govern कि ये factors आपको मजबूर कर सकते हैं PLM के लिए. Internal factors. Understanding of threats and opportunities, level of resources and funding, level of integration within the company and ability to implement initiative. These are the internal forces that can help you or support you in LCM, life cycle management. कि आपके प्रोडक्ट को थ्रेट्स क्या है, अपॉर्चुनिटीज क्या है, आपके पास रिसोर्सेस कितने हैं, कैन यू इन्वेस्ट और हैव मोर फंडिंग डन फॉर एडिशनल क्लिनिकल ट्रायल्स, हाउ लॉन्ग इज योर पेटेंट रिमेनिंग इन फोर्स नाउ. अभी पेटेंट अगले साल एक्सपायर हो रहा है, अभी आप इस समय अगर LCM के बारे में सोच रहे हैं तो ये फ्रूटलेस है, एक साल में प्रोडक्ट डेवलप हो ही नहीं सकता. सो यू हैव टू थिंक क्वाइट वेल इन एडवांस, मे बी 5, 6, 10 years in advance and then develop that. So these are the LCM strategies which are generally used. Okay, let's have a look at some of the case studies to understand some of these aspects of LCM which we have seen till now. Okay, one is patent extension. This example is one of the most beautiful example of patent extension. और इस ये जो केस स्टडी मैंने आपको दी है ना अभी, मैं पर्सनली इसका बहुत बड़ा शिकार हो चुका हूँ. In one of my companies where I was developing this product and I was really a helpless sufferer, or my company was a helpless sufferer of this particular thing. But at the same time, you cannot marvel more at the company who has actually managed life cycle management through patent extension. Let's see this example. Product. There are two products. One is called as Astelin nasal spray. Other one is Astepro nasal spray. So this product contains azelastrine hydrochloride. It is for treating allergic rhinitis. It is a nasal spray. Brand owner is Mida Farms, US. Okay. Now Astelin was the first product which was launched by the company with lots of patents. That product was without sorbitol, without humectant. तो नेजल स्प्रे है, नाक में स्प्रे करने के बाद में क्या होता है कि कई बारी बहुत एक्सट्रीम ड्राइनेस होता है, उसकी वजह से पेशेंट को बड़ा अनकंफर्टेबल लगता है. लेकिन कैसा है कि बिकॉज यू आर गेटिंग रिलीफ फ्रॉम एलर्जिक राइनाइटिस, तो समहाउ आप उसको मैनेज कर लेते हैं कि चलो ठीक है यार, नाक तो ड्राई हो रहा है बट फाइनली आई एम गेटिंग रीड ऑफ माई राइनाइटिस. ओके, दिस इज व्हाट मीडा फार्म्स रिकॉग्नाइज्ड. सो then they develop another product, second product which is called as Astepro nasal spray. इस प्रोडक्ट में उन्होंने क्या किया, they added sorbitol to it as a humectant. So when you spray it into the nasal cavity, your nasal cavity remains humid and because of that remains soft and there is no irritation. So now you have double benefit that you feel comfortable in your nose as well as you're getting treated for allergic rhinitis. But what company did was they did not launch Astepro immediately. एस्टेलिन को 5-7-8 साल होने के बाद उन्होंने एस्टेप्रो को लॉन्च किया है. तो 5-7 साल एस्टेलिन के साथ एंजॉय कर लिया, बाद में आ गया एस्टेप्रो के साथ में शुरू कर दिया। तो अब इस पीरियड में अगर किसी ने एस्टेलिन डेवलप करने का शुरू किया है तो उनके लिए नए कंपटीशन आ गया एस्टेप्रो। तो फिर कंपनी जो जो जेनरिक डेवलप कर रही है, दे आर आल्सो थिंकिंग कि शैल आई रियली गो फॉर दिस प्रोडक्ट और शैल आई गो फॉर एस्टेप्रो। अगेन दे फाइल्ड पेटेंट्स फॉर एस्टेप्रो। So Astelin patents were valid till 2012, for example, or 2009, for example. Astepro patents were valid till 2027. अब मैं वो भी नहीं कर सकता। अब ये स्ट्रैटेजी क्या है इसके अंदर की? बेसिकली इंट्रोड्यूस प्रोडक्ट विदाउट ह्यूमिक्टेंट विद अ पेटेंट, सब्सिक्वेंटली चेंज पंप कंपोनेंट। उसका जो पंप है जिसके थ्रू उसको स्प्रे करते हैं उसके कंपोनेंट चेंज कर दिए, और जो चेंज कंपोनेंट है उसका एक्सक्लूसिविटी ले लिया पंप मैन्युफैक्चरर से। तो अब वो पंप कंपोनेंट जेनरिक यूज नहीं कर सकता। इसका मतलब पंप सेम नहीं है। पंप अगर सेम नहीं है तो प्रोडक्ट सेम नहीं है, प्रोडक्ट अगर सेम नहीं है तो उसको जेनरिक का स्टेटस नहीं है। सो नाउ दिस इज हाउ इट मैनेज्ड। नेक्स्ट दे इंट्रोड्यूस प्रोडक्ट विद ह्यूमिक्टेंट व्हिच इज एस्टेप्रो, न्यू पेटेंट व्हिच इज एक्सटेंडिंग टिल 2027। अब 27 तक वैसे भी कोई कुछ नहीं कर सकता। ओके अच्छा, ये करने के बाद उन्होंने एक ब्यूटीफुल चीज क्या की, सब्सिक्वेंटली दे विड्रू एस्टेलिन फ्रॉम द मार्केट। मार्केट से एस्टेलिन निकाल लिया। अब जो कोई लोग एस्टेलिन का जेनरिक बनाकर उसको बेचना चाहते हैं मार्केट में, उनको आरएलडी चाहिए है टू एस्टेब्लिश द बायोइक्विवेलेंस बिटवीन द ब्रांड प्रोडक्ट एंड द रेफरेंस प्रोडक्ट। एंड नाउ द ब्रांड प्रोडक्ट इज नॉट अवेलेबल इन द मार्केट, वेयर विल यू गेट द जेनरिक प्रोडक्ट, वेयर विल यू गेट द कंपैरेटर प्रोडक्ट? तो एस्टेलिन आपको वैसे भी ड्रॉप कर देना है। नाउ लुक एट द स्ट्रेटेजी ऑफ मीडा फार्म्स। उन्होंने अजलास्टिन हाइड्रोक्लोराइड को एस्टेलिन से शुरू किया, पंप कॉन्फ़िगरेशन चेंज करके उसका लाइफ एक्सटेंड किया, उसके बाद में उसमें सॉर्बिटॉल ऐड करके उसका लाइफ टाइम एक्सटेंड किया, एंड नाउ दे आर ऑलमोस्ट एंजॉयिंग मोनोपोली सिंस लास्ट 30-35 years by these strategies, whereas actually without PLM the product could have easily died in 2009 में और जेनरिक आ जाते 10 में and they would have died. But this is a beautiful example of patent extension. Another case study is of RX to OTC switches, the prescription to over-the-counter changes. Based 3 examples because I am from inhalation field, so I know most examples from inhalation field. तो मेरे पास टैबलेट कैप्सूल के एग्जांपल्स नहीं है, ये लाइव एग्जांपल है तो मैं इन्हीं के दे रहा हूँ, बट देयर आर hundreds of examples in tablets, capsules and liquids also. Okay, one example is fluticasone nasal spray, brand product Flixonase GSK. This was again a very big brand. Okay, almost patent terms 18, 19 years, 20 years, the GSK enjoyed the monopoly. And then they applied for OTC and they got the OTC status. Suddenly, whatever RX products were filed by other company, generic products, they became irrelevant because OTC sale is higher. And then same thing happened with Triamcinolone nasal spray, brand product Nasacort, company is Sanofi Aventis. Same thing happened. Actually, this brand Nasacort is probably one of the best selling in rest of the world. But by far the best selling product in the US was Mometasone furoate nasal spray, brand product Nasonex. The brand owner Merck. Nasonex basically is a product which is a wonderfully patent protected product. I can talk on Nasonex for more than 1 hour on only technical patent lifecycle management of that particular product. But I don't think we have that much time here to discuss. So we'll concentrate on RX to OTC switches at this point in time. They did again the same thing. They had patents on Mometasone furoate monohydrate. And in the patent they defined that if the water content is less than 78% in monohydrate, then it will not be considered as monohydrate. More than 78%. Moreover, they said that Mometasone furoate becomes monohydrate when the moisture content is above 78%. And then they patented that molecule monohydrate, Mometasone furoate monohydrate. अब 78% के ऊपर मॉइस्चर चाहिए, Mometasone furoate monohydrate को पेटेंट कर लिया तो किसी और का आने का सवाल ही नहीं पैदा होता. So that the first thing they did, extended their life cycle like by say around 20 years. अब इन्होंने ये प्रोडक्ट जो लॉन्च किया Nasonex, it was for the adults. Almost 17-18 years down the line, somewhere in 2011, they launched a pediatric product. I mean, the same product, now they added a claim of pediatric use. by conducting a clinical trial. And then they got the approval for that. First, they got pediatric exclusivity for 6 months more additional. So 6 महीने का market आपको और मिल गया. And 6 month market is not a small market. If a molecule has got a turnover of $3 billion, then in 6 months it is earning $1.5 billion, which is a big money. So 6 महीना extension बड़ी बात होती है. So they got that. And then generics were like not possible because label claim has to be the same. And because pediatric exclusivity is hello? Because pediatric exclusivity is under patent, the brand generic product cannot claim pediatric exclusivity. And then when the label claim of brand product and the generic product were compared, then brand product has for adult use this much dose, for pediatric use this much dose. But on the generic product for adult use this much dose, pediatric no reference. Labels are not same. And if labels are not same, label claim is not same, the product is not considered generic. So generic is not possible. That is second thing they did. इसके बाद में उन्होंने they extended enjoyed extended period till 2020. And then last strategy they adopted is that they switched Nasonex from RX to OTC in 2020. 21 में OTC हो गया. That means Nasonex nasal spray enjoyed its monopoly right from 1990s till 2021, which is more than 31 years. These are the strategies which are actually based on a beautiful combination of technological and commercial combination. Okay. Pediatric exclusivity. Okay, मैंने पहले बोल दिया ये. चलो ठीक है. This slide tells you more about pediatric exclusivity. Launched product for adult use, conducted studies on pediatric population, filed MOU for pediatric patent. MOU is method of use patent. Received pediatric exclusivity in addition to the patent protection, Nasonex. So this is another case study. Okay. This is brand building case study for US Vitamin. Okay. This is one of the favorite examples of mine because it happens to be Indian and we can really correlate to it very, very well. Glycomet. Glycomet is #1 prescription brand in oral anti-diabetic market in India. Glycomet GP is the next product that was added by USV as a brand extension. Okay, Glycomet with Glimepiride. Now, because it has got a name of Glycomet, again it sold beautifully in the market and remained #3 by value in Indian pharmaceutical market. So Glycomet #1. In between something else, but Glycomet GP became #3. So if you actually look at the whole market for US Vitamin is way, way ahead of all other competitions. Best brand building strategy. Okay. 7 of our, because I copied it from their website. So I need to change that. 7 of USV's brands rank #1 in their respective segment by value, which is very important. By value. The brands are Glycomet, Glycomet GP, Pios MF, another range. But again, you see, they use similar rhyming words. Like for Glycomet के लिए rhyming word है Glynase, Glynase MF, Glycomet Trio. So they have amply used this term Gly for life cycle extension. And now this is the best example. You see 7 brands in OAD market of one company US are #1 simply because their name starts with Gly or similarly sounding names. Okay, Pios and Pios MF again are anti-diabetic products, but they were promoted through the name of US Vitamins, not Glycomet or Glynase. Okay, this is one of the most beautiful examples. Glycomet GP and Glycomet are the top 2 prescribed brands in the oral diabetic market in India. So this is one of the best examples of brand building. So this is a commercial life cycle management. Technological by introducing new brands, combination products, and commercial by using similar rhyming names. Glycomet, Glycomet GP, Glynase, Glynase MF, Glycomet Trio. Okay, now this is one of the most beautiful examples of brand building. Okay. This is a case study of mergers and acquisition. I don't think this slide will be visible very clearly, but this is something that can be seen by all of us. I'm trying to make it bigger if you can see, right?
Yes.
And this, you can find ample examples of that, right? Starting from 1999 till 2021. Okay. And if you see what kind of transaction happened, like Pfizer in 1999 purchased Warner Lambert. The type of transaction was acquisition. That means Warner Lambert was completely acquired by Pfizer. Any Warner Lambert entity khatam ho gayi. Value $111.8 billion. Value with date $174 billion. Why Warner Lambert was purchased by Pfizer? Because Warner Lambert had the same range or similar range of products that was of interest to Pfizer. So they took. Glaxo Wellcome, they purchased Smith & Beecham. Okay. Bristol Myers Squibb purchased Celgene. Sanofi purchased Aventis. Okay. But here now, example 2, I skipped that. Glaxo Wellcome did not purchase Smith & Beecham. These two companies merged together, and because of that it is a merger, and then the new name came Glaxo from Glaxo Wellcome and SmithKline from SmithKline Beecham. So merger. So either acquisition or a merger can take place. Okay, this is another strategy of mergers and acquisitions. Okay. This is all that I have right now for you to understand. Thank you very much.
Sir. Thank you, sir, for such an informative session. The session is now open for discussion. I request participants to unmute your mic and ask questions directly, or you can place your questions in the WhatsApp group also.
Yeah, if you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer.
Yeah, participants, please raise your questions.
Sir, very nice session, what you have explained, and practically there are so many examples, very nicely you have addressed. So it made very keen interest of this topic. I have some queries. PLM, generally it is used at the stage of the maturity of the product, and it gives again sometimes to that product. That means it has been increases the life of that product, and this industry enjoy the again few years about that products to earning so many monies. So my question is regarding that, how maturity of any pharma product has been generally calculated by that industry?
Now this is very interesting. Yeah. It's not like very complex science. Basically, you look into the market trend and then you use some statistical tools to get a trend into it. For example, product started selling it to the market, and like maybe first year it has got a revenue of say 100 crore rupees. Second year 200, 300, 400, it reached 3000 crore. And then suddenly you see some kind of a stability, like 3000 crore, then 3100 crore, 2900 crore. Now you know you have come at a stable level where the market is almost saturated with your product's name, and market knows your product well, and there is now a equilibrium between the output and the consumption. All right. Now this is the stage you have to see that market is almost saturated now, and this is the time you have to go for the extension now. This is one way of doing it. In advanced markets, what happens is mostly the brand values are driven by the patent protections. So now if my product has got around 20 years of patent protection, it is doing well. It will keep on doing well. It will keep on earning more and more revenue, no doubt. But मुझे ये भी पता है कि मेरा पेटेंट इस साल में एक्सपायर हो जाएगा, से 2021 में एक्सपायर हो जाएगा, उसके बाद 10 जनरिक आएंगे. तो अब मुझे करना क्या है? If my brand is doing very very well and if I think कि इसका PLM करना जरूरी है, 21 में मेरा प्रोडक्ट का पेटेंट एक्सपायर होने वाला है, तो उसके पहले कोई भी PLM स्ट्रेटेजी अडॉप्ट करने के लिए आई नीड अराउंड 4 to 5 years टू वर्क ऑन माई प्रोडक्ट. सो मे बी देन आई रफली कैलकुलेट आई शुड स्टार्ट PLM strategy somewhere around 2014 or 15. start thinking about it, get more feedback from the market. Maybe around 16, 17, I should start developing up multiple product strategies. Like एक मैं MR टैबलेट बनाऊंगा, दूसरा मैं उसको कैपलेट बना दूंगा, तीसरा मैं उसका कोई पेडियाट्रिक कर दूंगा. One of the strategies will click. Okay, and that strategy will come into the market before 2021. Before 2021. So there is a continuity. उसके continuation में दूसरी जो strategy वो जाएगी. So basically when to start, that strategy depends upon one of the two things. Either wherever there is no patent issues like in non-regulated markets, you have to generally go by the trend of the turnover that you have. And where the patent protection is there, the field is very, very clear and you know when it is to be started. That is the time when you have to start the development.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Question. While explaining the patent litigation, you said that the patent holding company can give the authority to the generic firm that they can start the production of their product before the patent expiry. Then there is a generic production company to file ANDA, or they get the direct authority for it?
No. Yeah. That's a very good question. Actually, I should have spoken about it. The company gets authorization. They file a ANDA. They file a ANDA. The only important thing is because US FDA regulations are such that it cannot allow a generic to come into the market before expiration of the Orange Book patent. So in that case, the brand company gives a letter of authorization to US FDA. We authorize this company to manufacture generic of our product. We have no objection to them marketing that. Now, in that case, depending upon the market need, US FDA may take a decision of either allowing marketing of the product before patent expiration or after patent expiration. But the US FDA definitely needs a letter from the brand company saying that we don't have any objection. That is called as authorization, and that's why it is called as authorized generic. But filing mechanism does not change. If a ANDA needs a clinical trial, the company has to conduct a clinical trial. There is no other way. Okay. The only thing is brand company can share their clinical data with the generic company and say कि okay ये data आप use कर सकते हो. बाहर की किसी कंपनी को वो कंपनी देगी नहीं, तो उनको तो अपना क्लिनिकल ट्रायल करना ही पड़ेगा, राइट? बट ऑथराइज जेनरिक में आप अपना दे सकते हो. उस केस में क्या हो सकता है कि कई बारी क्लिनिकल ट्रायल कैन बी कंप्लीटली वेव्ड ऑफ, और इफ एट ऑल इट इज टू बी कंडक्टेड, इट कैन बी अलाउड इन अ वेरी स्मॉल पेशेंट पॉपुलेशन. मे बी से वो कहेंगे कि 27 पेशेंट पे कर लो, या 50 पेशेंट पे कर लो, या 101 पेशेंट पे कर लो. जब दूसरा कोई कंपनी बनाएगा जिसके पास में क्लिनिकल ट्रायल का कोई डेटा ही नहीं है, दे में से ओके यू हैव टू कंडक्ट अ ट्रायल ऑन 3000 पेशेंट्स और 4000 पेशेंट्स. So these are the advantages that authorized generics basically have and the brand companies have.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. I think I finished early, right?
Yeah, a bit early, but it's okay. I think there are questions coming in from the participants.
Yeah. There was no point extending unnecessarily beyond the limit, you see.
Yeah, right. That's true.
Sir, I just have a question.
Yeah.
Means when we say, as far as product life cycle is concerned, so am I audible?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yes, sir, please go ahead. Okay, I'm not sure if it's connected or not.
Technical issue.
Yeah, I can help you.
If anybody want to ask the question, please ask the question.
I want to add one more thing to this. Like, if like we see like either the teachers or students very keenly into the kind of jobs that are being created, you will see many Indian companies having very specific job openings in PLM, especially PLM. The title itself is like PLM executive, PLM officer, PLM manager. And I have recently seen one particular advertisement where they said like they need people in PLM with freshers or 3-4 years of experience and 8 or 10 years of experience. So now this is being recognized in India. Another important thing that is happening in India now is, let's talk a little bit about Indian perspective, since we have time. If you see most of the brand products which are there in the market, US markets are with reference to the synthetic molecules. Most of the big blockbuster molecules have gone off patent in 2012. 2012 में सभी की सभी जो सुपरस्टार थे वो रिटायर हो गए एक साथ. राजेश खन्ना भी हो गया, बाद में अमिताभ बच्चन भी रिटायर हो गया, धर्मेंद्र भी रिटायर हो गया, कुछ नहीं बचा. So in 2012, all the superstars got retired. Those who were earning 14 billions, 10 billions, 15 billions, all. And then in the field of these synthetic molecules, like the pipelines have dried because most of the companies have screened millions and millions of molecules. So अब कुछ बहुत बचा नहीं है. Pipeline काफी ठंडी सी हो गई है. Now because of that, the Indian are the best generic development companies. So earlier, before 2012, each company had around say 50 projects, 60 projects, 70 projects for generic development. Suddenly the pipeline has dried now. Each company is having say 6 projects, 7 projects, 5 projects. ऐसा हो गया वो. And that's why you must have seen in last few years, many of the companies, there have been a big job layoffs. Like we know them, like Lupin did, Cipla did. Almost every big company had done that. Big job layoffs, like people lost jobs and everything. That was the reason. But at the same time, what happened is that the Indian companies started thinking very, very seriously कि अब यहाँ से आगे कहाँ, from where, for like where to head now from here. And then अब Indian industry ने करवट बदली है भी. And now Indian industry is seriously thinking कि why not brand product? Why not new product? Why not novel products? And now this has happened. Unfortunately or fortunately for pharma industry, the COVID pandemic came in 2020. And then something unbelievable happened. Like not 1, not 2, but 3 to 4 new products were generated by Indian companies in the international market. The first was the COVID detection kit by that Pune company. क्या नाम है उसका? COVID detection kit, rapid detection kit. Am I getting old now? Forget the name of the company. Okay, I'll tell you the name. Come on, it's a beautiful company, a very small one, but a beautiful company, I tell you. That was the first new product. Covaxin was the second one. Covishield, again, was a hybrid new product, partly developed in India. And then Digi2, again a new product. Within a span of 18 to 20 months, we came up with so many new molecules, right? So then that has given our industry an additional confidence that we can do new products. So now each and every industry is concentrating on 2 parts now. One is developing a new product and repurposing the existing products by changing either the route of administration, maybe एक particular tablet है oral route के लिए, you convert it into injectable formulation or you convert it into inhalation formulation. There is a one product which is used as antihypertensive. Now you are converting it into a different use, pulmonary arterial hypertension. So these type of changes are taking place in the industry and they are working on developing new molecules because now the companies have started thinking like a brand company. Now they know about importance of everything. So PLM is going to become a very, very big and important thing in the days to come. Like 5 to 6 years down the line, you will see really good PLM professionals in the country. And they will come from the current crop of the students whom we are teaching right now. So this is a very important thing. And fortunately, in the new PCI syllabus, they have at least one reference to PLM, if not more. So we as a pharma teaching fraternity have to be aware of changes that are taking place inside the country. And we have to keep on changing, modifying our syllabi in order to make sure that we keep on adding the things that helps us become more and more competent and relevant in the international market. तो ये एक चीज अभी जैसे फार्मा इंडस्ट्री न्यू प्रोडक्ट डेवलप कर रही है वैसे एकेडमिक्स के ऊपर एक बहुत बड़ी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है. I really don't know and I'm really not sure how beautifully we'll respond to it. From the last experiences of last 70 years, well, I just hope we do better than what we did in 70 years as academics people. I mean, this is probably the softest thing I can say. So this is.
It's I think a very important part. And that's why I think the Atal has started this great initiative to train the teachers.
Yeah.
I think especially in the field of quality assurance, this is really important because many things are upcoming and probably we teachers are not used to with learning that those concepts. So that learning is very important for the teachers. Then only it will be transformed to the students.
Yeah. और दूसरी बात क्या है कि when a company develops a new product, no, company cannot do everything on their own. Generic की बात हो रहा है. You can do it in a very small setup of your, but new product is simply impossible to do everything. Yeah. And then they are looking for support from everywhere, like outsourcing this and that. And the most reliable partner I can see is academics.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, abhi bhi I don't see academics preparing itself to gear up to that particular level. जैसे मैंने कहा कि for a PLM, a company starts building its program 6 to 7 years in advance. 7 साल के बाद मॉलिक्यूल मार्केट में आता है. आपकी PLM स्ट्रेटजी 6-7 साल के बाद आती है. Now is the case with the academics. We still have 5 to 6 years. And do we really gear up ourselves from this point onwards to get to that particular level? Two things are very, very critical and important in this. Number one is that the academics itself, academicians themselves have to realize that they are answerable to pharma industry. Till now, we don't feel we are answerable. हमको हमारी कोई responsibility लगती नहीं है कि हम pharma industry के लिए responsible है. हमको लगता ही नहीं है. हमको लगता है एक स्टूडेंट को पढ़ा दिया, कच्चा माल मार्केट में डाल दिया, मेरी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी खत्म हो गई. This is not what we have to do. Second thing is we have to bring a level of dignity to our profession. एक level of dignity लानी पड़ेगी जहां पर हम लोग अच्छा रिसर्च करते हैं, रियल रिसर्च करते हैं, फेक रिसर्च नहीं करते हैं. अननेसेसरी वो पेपर्स के लिए, पेटेंट्स के लिए, एसोसिएट प्रोफेसर से प्रोफेसर बनने के लिए 10 पेटेंट बकवास से ऐड नहीं करते हैं.
Very true.
फिल्दी से पेटेंट, ये आप भी जानती हैं, मैं भी जानता हूँ. और फोरम पे जितने लोग हैं, all people are like us. So we all are the same. We all are the same, and we have to understand कि ये सब चीजें हमको कहीं नहीं लेके जाएंगी. We will retire as a ordinary people like someday. And this is some. क्यों करते हैं 100 पेपर? क्या जरूरत क्या है? 10 ही करो ना, 5 करो. I have 5 patents. All 5 are international patents. Let me tell you. And 2 patents are going to be US patents. And they are all very valuable patents. Publication wise, I have less than 10 papers, but all are high impact factor. I am happy with that. I am a professor. Nobody stopped me from becoming a professor. किसी ने नहीं बोला 100 पेपर पब्लिश करो. ये नहीं करना चाहिए हम लोगों ने. And institutes की responsibility है. I don't know how far institutes will realize that they have to give adequate infrastructure which is maintained. अब एक बात आप देखिए सब लोग. I think on the forum we have teachers, right? Most of them.
Yeah. Most of us are teachers, sir.
Thank you. So I can talk openly now.
Yeah.
So see, what happens is like for any institute, purchasing equipment is a very small thing. कोई बहुत बड़ी बात नहीं होती. कोई ग्रांट आ जाती है 10 लाख की, 50 लाख की, हम इक्विपमेंट परचेस कर लेते हैं. असली चैलेंज है उसको मेंटेन करना. वो कोई भी नहीं कर सकता, करता ही नहीं है. क्योंकि किसी इक्विपमेंट को मेंटेन करना, उसकी एएमसी रखना, ये चीजें हमारे अवेयरनेस में दिमाग में ही नहीं है. हमको क्वालिफिकेशन के डॉक्यूमेंट उसके बनाने हैं, हमको उसका कैलिब्रेशन करके रखना है. जब को भी इंडस्ट्री हमको प्रोजेक्ट देगी तो ये सारा देखेगी वो.
Yeah, absolutely.
Industry is going to see all these things.
Yeah,
Then
right.
they're going to believe in our work. And see, some of the best talent pools which is existing in the country is in teachers only. Industry also does not have such talented people. I can tell you on oath. Industry also does not have so intelligent people as they are in academics. The only thing is वो हमारा क्या हो गया, हमारी टीचिंग फ्रेटर्निटी हैज बिकम हनुमान। उनको याद दिलाना पड़ता है आप में ताकत है, हे बजरंग बली खड़े रहो, आपने ये किया है वो किया है।
राइट सर।
तो एक तो चीज है कि हमको अपने आप में भरोसा नहीं है, नंबर 1। इंस्टीट्यूट हमारे इक्विपमेंट मेंटेन करके हमको और भरोसा नहीं दिलवाते हैं, नंबर 2। और तीसरी चीज है कि ये जो रैट रेस है इसमें हम इतने परेशान हैं कि मुझे 25 पेपर चाहिए, मुझे 50 पेपर चाहिए। स्यूटिक्स वाला बंदा है, उसका बायोसिमिलर्स का पेटेंट है, पेपर है, उसका सिंथेटिक केमिस्ट्री का पेपर है, उसका बायोडाटा देख के ही पता चलता है बंदे का खुद का पेपर नहीं है। क्यों करते हैं हम लोग? क्यों क्यों भाई, मैं मेरे पेपर में किसी का नाम क्यों डालूं और किसी के पेपर में मेरा नाम क्यों डालने दूं? आई शुड स्ट्रिक्टली स्टॉप पीपल की केमिस्ट्री के पेपर में मेरा नाम नहीं आएगा, याद रखना, मैं नहीं डालू। तो ये एंड विथ specific reference to PLM, why I'm saying is that we have to wake up at time, and this is the time. Next 6 to 7 years, Cadila, Glenmark, I'm telling you specific names, Cadila, Glenmark, Alembic, Cipla, not so much, but still, they will come up with at least one brand product, at least one. और each brand का product का value market में 5, 7, 10 billion dollars होगा। आज इंडिया की टॉप मोस्ट फार्मा कंपनी सन फार्मा का अकेले का टर्नओवर $5 बिलियन है। सोचिए हर कंपनी का 10-10 बिलियन डॉलर का एक एक ब्रांड आएगा तो कहां जाएगी फार्मा इंडस्ट्री? Are we geared up for that? This is the question we need to ask ourselves. Are academicians geared up for that? Because when a company earns $15 billion, they can very easily give $100 million to an institute for developing a product. $100 million. $100 million is 730 crore rupees. No, 7,300 crore rupees. हमने कभी सपने में भी सोचा इस फिगर के बारे में? वो मिल सकता है। Are we geared up for that? This is the question we need to answer. I constantly work for industry seamlessly, and that's why I realized this thing. And इसलिए मुझे ऐसी इतनी तड़क आती है कि मैं बताऊं अपने लोगों को।
We can understand.
क्या कि आपके सामने एक बहुत बड़ा गोल्ड माउंटेन है, आपको सिर्फ पता नहीं चल रहा है गोल्ड का है। This is
I think I would like to know at this stage, because many of us are teachers, and probably many of us might be associated with teaching the quality assurance department. So those who are associated with the quality assurance department and are training the students to enter into the QA in the industry, as teachers, so what is your perspective that what we teachers should be teaching or promoting our students to know if they want to enter into this field of PLM?
Wow. See, I've been teaching QA since 2011-12 now.
Yes, sir.
So I have sufficient experience now from industry also, everything. The first thing I would tell to any QA teacher is that there is no textbook. Don't believe in textbooks. And most importantly, don't look at any textbooks unless you are only studying the very fundamentals of QA. Very fundamentals. जो basic QA का एक framework है, उसी के लिए use करो textbook को. But then the second source of information is always the authentic websites of the MOAs, the different Ministry of Health of the world. They are your textbooks. Take them out, because every day 270 कंट्रीज है वर्ल्ड में, 240 कंट्रीज है वर्ल्ड में, हर दिन कुछ ना कुछ नया आते रहता है. एवरी डे आवर साइंस इज इवॉल्विंग QA. Every day it is evolving. Every day newer aspects are coming up. Okay, and every new additional thing is telling something or something or more about how a product life extension can. Now, what QA is again? Look at it. QA is basically about the middle of life. The product comes to manufacture, goes to the market, remains there for a long time. Now, during this particular phase, when the opportunities for improvement are identified, the first people who really identified opportunity for improvement are QA. इन्हीं को पता लगता है सबसे पहले कि मेरे प्रोडक्ट का ट्रेंड कहां जा रहा है. वो कहता है ये ट्रेंड जा रहा है, इसको करेक्शन करो, ये गलत है. You get my point? बिगिनिंग वहां से तो जो सीड है वहां डाला जाता है. So all these improvement strategies that the QA regulations and guidelines allow you, learn them well all the time. Keep abreast with QA guidelines, and in next 2 to 3 years, you will start seeing guidelines on PLM also from different companies.
Yeah.
How, like, because see, when we talk about PLM, there is unethical PLM also. PLM को ethically होता है ऐसी बात नहीं है, unethical PLM भी होता है कि आप false claims करते हैं, खास करके nutraceutical में we see a lot.
Yeah,
False
very
claims
true.
and everything. Right? My product is running into the market. It is selling well. Okay, this and that. And then suddenly what I do is I take the same product and then I do study some small study and then say, okay, this is for now. This can be used for your vitality and vigor. Ab ye, something of that kind happens. Like, I mean, so at some point in time, all ministries will recognize ki even PLM needs to be regularized. It has to be brought under legal framework and there will be guidelines. So we have to be aware of that and like keep on looking for small hints here and there of PLM that each guideline give, especially you see ICH guidelines or like the USFDA guidelines for that matter. And these guidelines will keep telling you, and look at the speed with which our own CDSU is changing now. I will not be surprised if we have some kind of a control over there also. See, recently, this is today's 27th, no? There is a beautiful medical device regulation published on 21st, 6 days ago. Beautiful regulation, Indian regulation, 6 days ago. I read it completely and I was so happy reading through that. Let me tell you. ये चीजें हो रही ना world में. We have to be aware of that. We have to train our people to say that they have to regularly, constantly, and very proper frequency, keep on checking the website for the updates and study them. This is the best way to comply with.
That is the best.
Yeah.
Correct, sir. Very true.
And this is what I teach my students right from 2011 till date. मैंने मेरा pattern नहीं बदला है. It's the same.
I completely agree with this pattern, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, sorry for interruption earlier. So I wanted to ask one question related to few more examples in the field of pharma, means in the drug and brands, which have failed in this PLM. So can we add some few more examples?
That is always possible. Actually क्या होता है देखिए, जो सक्सेसफुल हो जाता है उसकी सब चर्चा करते हैं, जो फेल होता है ना, that is swept under the carpet.
Yes, sir, yes.
है ना? Let me think about it, because it's a new question and good one. So next time when I present, no, I'll get a few examples from this also. But let me think. क्या चीज फेल हुई है? ये हम
we say na, as far as continuous improvement is concerned, we say the examples of many times we say example of Nokia, because it does not recognize the need of time, and that's why in the phone we observe that. Similar pattern can we see here also in the drug and brands? Absolutely.
If you dig deep, you will know that. कैसा हुआ है? ये होता है. अब ये लॉजेंजेस इंडस्ट्री में विक्स है, विक्स ने कुछ नहीं किया. अब कॉफसिल आ गया, पता नहीं कौन से आ गए अभी. विक्स ने पैकिंग सहित सब कुछ वही रखा है, कुछ नहीं, कोई चेंज नहीं किया. वही ट्रायंगुलर टैबलेट, वही एक सैशे पैक, है ना?
Right.
And now the market leader is Cofsil, Cipla. Because Cipla came up with newer claims. Now, this is very interesting. If you see very recent advertisement of Cofsil by Cipla, any holdings also, if you see holding, they say it is antiviral. They are claiming antiviral. Not only that, they go to the extent of saying it is useful for COVID control also. That means they must have done some kind of a clinical trial or study on that. Okay, then only, otherwise तो misbranded drug हो जाएगा ना. लेकिन वो नहीं हुआ है, अब तक किसी ने ऑब्जेक्शन नहीं लिया. इसका मतलब they must have. So there was a Cofsil. There was now an improved Cofsil which has got some kind of a control over virus. Now same thing Vicks has failed in doing. But yes,
Thank you,
this
sir.
is a good question. I'll find out a few examples next time on, for sure.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Good interaction.
Any more
We still have
questions?
some time.
Yeah. Yeah, please ask your question.
Hello, sir. I would like to ask a question, that is, what are risks involved in OTC trading?
Risks involved in OTC trading.
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah. So more of a MBA Pharma Administration question, but a good one. I like this question. You see, in the first place, when a particular brand product is there on the market, no, it holds a kind of a reputation in the eyes of medical practitioners. Like एक doctor है, एक particular prescription medicine को लिखता है, he keeps on writing that, and one day he realizes it has become OTC. So there is always a danger of that product losing that reputation in the minds of medical professionals. That is a big risk which is there. Okay. Secondly, when it becomes OTC, it becomes a volume driven business, because once it becomes OTC, then any number of generics can come into play without establishing adequate bioequivalence. तो डेवलपमेंट का खर्चा कम हो जाता है जेनरिक के लिए, तो कोई भी उठ के फाइल कर सकता है. तो एक बार OTC बन गया कि देन सपोज इफ देयर इज अ ब्रांड प्रोडक्ट एंड देन इट कैन हैव मे बी से 10 generics. When it becomes a OTC, there can be 100 generics, 200 generics. That you have to fight out. So your brand name must be so powerful that it should not lose any reputation in the hearts and minds of prescribers in the first place. Secondly, the name should be so much on the tip of your tongue that other OTC should actually be irrelevant, like Crocin. कैसा नाम है? Simplest name, like I mean, Crocin को कोई चैलेंज नहीं है. अगर क्रोसिन कल चल के OTC हो जाता है तो वही बिकेगा, किसी को दूसरा नाम ही पता नहीं है. Nobody knows paracetamol, nobody knows Calpol, nobody knows Dolo. You getting my point? So these are the risks which are to be evaluated कि अगर मेरा प्रोडक्ट OTC बन जाता है तो मेरे पास ये स्ट्रेंथ होनी चाहिए. ये स्ट्रेंथ अगर नहीं हुई तो I will become a failure then, and that's a very important thing in this.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Sir, I just wanted to know from my side, whenever there is a merger or whenever there is an acquisition, like you just gave a lot of examples of many companies where the acquisition or merger had taken place. So as far as any regulatory requirements are concerned, like whenever there is a merger or whenever there is an acquisition, so the product would be transferred from one company to the other company. So are there, as far as like any regulatory needs are concerned, that the company which is taking up the product now, they need to make any further submissions or like this kind of, in terms of regulators, what are the needs?
Absolutely, madam. This is again a very nice query actually. You have to go through the entire process of getting registrations done once again. However, suppose if the manufacturing location is not changing, okay, I have acquired the company and I'm using now the same location of that company for manufacturing the same product in the same premises and same facilities. In that case, I just need to give a letter to Food and Drug Administration saying कि अब इसका जो title है वो transfer हो गया है. From this company to this company, owner has become this one. And then relevant documentation by paying relevant fees has to be done. But you don't have to continue product from the market. You don't have to do anything. Only thing is once you get your approval, the label में manufacturer का नाम change होके एक की जगह दूसरे का आ जाएगा. But after merger acquisition, if the site change takes place, then depending upon site change or the product change, then there can be the SUPAC changes, CB0, CB30, applicable changes will be done. So this is a whole process. So when a merger or acquisition happens, no, then the time of acquisition also is decided based on time taken for the regulatory acquisitions. That's why we see many times that a company takes a press release and says
that these two companies are merging together or we are acquiring this particular company, and the merger process will be over by 2025. So this is one of the big important factors in that. क्योंकि कई बार क्या होता है, products are also in the pipeline. Some products have come just to the level of conducting a clinical trial. Some are just finishing the clinical trials. Now the new company has to take call कि इसको continue करना है, बंद करना है, इसमें पैसे डालना है, नहीं डालना है. So these all regulatory processes, whatever are there, these regulatory processes, they go through the entire life cycle phase, regulatory life cycle phase as normal. There is no different. If it is taking 1 year, it will take 1 year, 2 year, 3 year. The only thing that happens is complete merger or complete acquisition does not take place unless all the regulatory norms are fulfilled. So that's why periods are so long. So then the milestone payments happen, like say $100 million mein ho gaya. So then they will say, okay, upfront we'll give you advance $20 million. Then after this acquisition, we'll give $30 million, and likewise that can happen.
Okay. But no, I just wanted to know, sir, like suppose the earlier company had made an application for the NDA, and now the merger or acquisition has taken place. So do the new company needs to submit all the documents, or
no, not all the documents.
Okay.
Fortunately, USFDA is not all that bureaucratic. They are very informal. Yeah, you just give them a letter, and even one page, single page letter is enough. Single page letter with a stamp and a signature is more than enough in USFDA.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't need anything like stamped or like whatever, notarized or nothing of that kind.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I think some participant was asking some questions. Samni, is it so? Yeah, I think Samni, then you can continue with the session.
Thank you, ma'am. It was really an interesting and informative session, sir. Now I would like to request Mrs. Sujata Chaudhary, ma'am, to sum up the session.
Yeah. Is it audible?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am, your voice is audible.
Okay. Good afternoon, one and all. It's my privilege and honor to propose a vote of thanks on behalf of all present learners for this AICTE-sponsored faculty development program on pharmaceutical quality system for product life cycle management. The session was very interesting and informative. Sir has explained all the concept very nicely, like product life cycle, what it is it, how it takes place, what is actual difference between product life cycle management, PLM and PLCM. Sir has explained which are the external and internal factors that will affect selection of LMC practices, various strategies while selecting PLCM and general LCM strategies mostly used. Sir has also explained case study and patent extension by taking examples of Astellin nasal spray and fluticasone nasal spray. Sir, it was really very interesting and informative. Sir has also explained about pediatric exclusivity and what actually it is. Overall session was very informative and interesting. Lastly, I want to thank you, Principal, Bharati Vidyapeeth College of Pharmacy, Kolhapur, Dr. H.N. More Sir, Vice Principal, Dr. M.N. Bhatia Sir, Coordinator and Head, Dr. N.M. Bhatia Madam, Co-Coordinator, Dr. D.P. Mani Sir, for organizing this faculty development program. Definitely, sir, it will helpful to all young researchers and innovators. Thank you once again, sir. Thank you, all of you.
Thank you. I must thank Bharati Vidyapeeth College of Pharmacy, Kolhapur for giving me this opportunity to speak on this forum. Special thanks to Dr. Mrs. Bhatia for having faith in me that I can really speak. So it was a nice and good session where we could discuss more aspects, moving away from the presentation also, and that was a really good session for me. So thank you very much. Thanks to the entire team of Bharati Vidyapeeth. Thanks.
Thank you. We are honored to listen to you, sir. Your expertise, your experiences. That matters a lot as compared to what is actually being written in the book, like you said. That experience makes a lot of difference.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank
Thank
you,
you very
ma'am.
much, ma'am.
Thank you, sir, for such a wonderful and informative session. I, Ms. Savani Shere, on behalf of Bharati Vidyapeeth College of Pharmacy, Kolhapur, take this opportunity to thank our eminent speaker for his wonderful presentation and valuable time. Thank you, sir. Now I request all the participants to turn on their camera so that we can have a photo with our eminent speaker.
Okay, is it possible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me check.
Everything going on virtually now.
Yeah. I'm not that tech savvy. Don't know everything.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, everyone. Thank you. So
Yeah.
kindly allow me to take your leave now.
Yes, sir. Thank
Right.
you.
Thank you. Have a good time. Thank you.
Thank you,
very
sir.
much.
Dear participants, now we will have a lunch break for 1 hour and I request you all to join at sharp 3 p.m. Thank you.